Good morning, Coolest Coast. It is time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. This is Kristin Odell of KLO. I'm Tina Prigge of Vagabond Creative Studio. Good morning. So happy to see you, Kristin.
We're both dressed very autumnally.
I know. It's very somber outside these last few days, isn't it?
It's so yucky.
I have to confess that beautiful, beautiful weather we had in February spoiled me. And in my mind, I thought that was our trajectory going forward. I didn't realize we were going to be reverting back to snow and whatnot.
I know, it was a total fake out, wasn't it?
Good morning, Mary. A Mother Nature fake out.
It was a fake out. Now, Tina, I hear a little bit of what sounds like building walls behind you. Can
Yes.
you tell us a little bit about what's happening there?
Okay, I do apologize for any construction noises. I'm so happy about it, though, and thank you to Mike Howe Builders for making it happen. We live in a 100-year-old house. It's 100 this year, so woohoo! But that means there's a lot of things that can be addressed and need to be addressed, and so we're just addressing some of those things before they get out of hand.
That's wonderful. I think like doing renovations and getting things updated is exciting.
Me too. Dustin said bipolar Wisconsin.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah, I mean, doing renovations is a lot of work. There's like a mental load that comes with it, and I don't know how you feel, but like, I'm working on a project for Lighthouse Recovery right now, and I'm not the general contractor, but like I'm overseeing all the selections and everything, right? It's a lot of like mental work, mental load. And I'm constantly like, are things going to match? Is this going to look good when it comes together? Is this really the design that's going to work best? How are you navigating that?
Well, for me, it's the commitment to do it, right? The decisions that have to be made. Like you have to decide, is a light switch going to go in a certain spot? Like, okay, like I'm making, you have to decide how many of what things or what color or like knowing that those decisions, this is a 100-year-old house. Like, is it going to be 100 years before they get to change again? I don't know. So I have to work through the kind of that paralysis of decision making.
Right. Well, and it's like, I don't want to do this and hate it.
Exactly.
It's scary. Like, look at I actually have like floor samples right here I have to take those back today. It's so scary.
And yeah, you never know, like, does this swatch? Yeah, this looks great. I love this little paint chip, or I love this carpet sample. But like, once you see a whole floor of it, I was looking at a lot of sort of like design fails, right? Where it's a cool pattern, but they put it on a carpet. And so now when you try to go down the steps, you're like, what is happening?
That's great. I love that you decided to go to fails as your like benchmark.
What not to do.
Yeah, what not to do. What else did you learn from looking at fails?
That, working with the professionals is really important. Mm-hmm. Like DIY is cool. And if you know what you're doing, awesome. But like, if you don't know what you're doing, you can really fail. And then are you really saving any money if you have to redo it, or if you're wasting your resources or.
Yes. And obviously Mike Howe has renovated many, many buildings and homes in our community and built new ones. And so you're lucky to be working with a pro.
Yeah. And the fact that it's 100-year-old house, right? That means nothing is square. Nothing is, you know what I mean? Like the tools that were used when this was built are not the same tools and things that are being used today. I think the measurements are still probably the same, but so what I really appreciate is seeing the guys, open something up or discover something and then being able to pivot, right? Being able to creatively decide, well, okay, this is how we're going to solve and work through this issue.
Have you found anything cool in the walls?
No, although we found like a 100-year-old cast iron standpipe that was like rotting away. And so that was kind of the termites of the project. They're like, this has to be fixed. We're like,
I know. Oh my gosh. Well, we're wishing you well and hoping that it all comes together the way that you hoped and that it's beautiful and that you love it when you're done.
Thank you. Hey, by the way, you sent me this picture and I was wondering, is this breakfast? Because it looks awesome.
Full disclosure, the chai tea latte was for breakfast. The cookie I just put with it because it was from the same place, but Doug and I did not eat the cookie until a little bit later in the day. It was our treat, but it was amazing.
Numb. And so that's a really good sign of willpower that you were able to hold that delicious looking cookie in your lap with a cup of chai and not devour it right then.
I didn't hold it in my lap. I actually had it in the center console,
Oh,
and Doug and I had agreed to share it. And I drank my chai and I was reading a book. We were driving back from Duluth to Wisconsin on Sunday. And I kind of looked over and I was like, are you ready? Like, do you want to have the cookie now? And he was like, I've been waiting. I was waiting. I was like, how long would you have waited? Like, what if I didn't like ask until 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Would you still have waited? He was like, I probably would have just had another different snack.
aw, that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
like right there. That's like a demonstration of true love, isn't it? Just that level of respect.
I think so. I think so. So Doug is a little bit more of a snacker than I am. So I appreciate his patience in like, I'm just going to wait on her, even though my waiting period is longer. So
I love it. Even though he thought he might need to like supplement it with an additional snack, he knew that you guys were sharing that cookie and was going to preserve that. That's beautiful. I love that.
yeah. Do you ever walk into a place and you are like, I must have one of that thing. Like you can just visually see that it's just going to be so delicious that you
Mm.
can't not get it.
Is that what that cookie was?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to not eat a lot of sweets, right? And especially not for breakfast or in the morning. But we walked into this bakery just to get a coffee, and I was like, dude, I know a good cookie when I see one, and that is it. And it did not, it was like salty and chocolatey and so buttery. It was wonderful. And it
Okay,
was
guys,
this big.
if you haven't eaten breakfast yet, we're sorry because this conversation is really making me hungry. But do you think too that that was not just because it wasn't just a normal day? You guys had little getaway, right? Tell us about going to Duluth, and do you think that being away kind of, you know what I mean, like is being on a little vacation, do you find yourself more prone to try treats?
Yeah. The answer is yes. We snuck away to Duluth. We actually left on Thursday after work and headed out for the weekend. Doug reserved this amazing condo right on Lake Superior. And we just spent the weekend hanging out, sharing meals, all kinds of stuff. That picture you just showed was from Saturday. We actually hiked 6.5 miles on Saturday. And this is a black beach, a taconite beach, Taconite. So there you can actually see
Oh.
it's called that this place is called Black Beach. And these pebbles are milled and manufactured there to make steel.
So is it a man-made beach?
It is not man-made. It is natural there. And there's natural taconite mines there, which
Interesting.
we didn't know anything about. And one of the really cool things is as we're driving, Doug is like, wait, this steel company they're a major supplier of ours. So Doug works at Jagman Stamping. They obviously purchase steel. This is one of their suppliers. So here we are in this community and their processing mill is literally right there.
Cool. And it looks like Doug was dressed to be on that beach. The color of his shirt like kind of matches. Well planned.
When we started the day on Saturday, there was no wind and it was like very calm, like cold but beautiful. By the time we got to this beach, the winds were insane and it was freezing. And I had like a hood on and my jacket hood on. It doesn't look like it, but it was freezing.
It has kind of a cold look in the picture. Do you know what I mean? You know how you can like kind of see cold?
Icy, yeah. But Lake Superior is so crystal clear and beautiful. The water is just stunning. There's this scenic North Drive where you can drive basically up the northern peninsula of Minnesota, and there is stops every 5 to 10 to 15 miles. There's like all these places, and so we hiked at a place called Gooseberry Falls, which had 4 incredible waterfalls. We hiked them all. There's little waysides to hike. It is just, we had no idea there was so much landscape there and everything was amazing.
That does sound great. So, how far is Duluth from the coolest coast? How long did it take to drive there?
So I'm going to give this in time. In true Midwestern form, I'm going to give you time, not miles.
And that's what I want to know. I don't care about the miles.
It took us like 5 hours to get up there.
Okay.
We
And
left
this is
3 on Thursday, and we stopped for dinner pretty quick, but like by 9:30 we were there.
And it was just a mom and dad getaway?
Yes.
Nice.
If you are a mother or father of young children and you don't go away, I'm telling you, you got to go away. Yeah.
And why Duluth? How did you guys choose Duluth?
Everybody asked us why Duluth. Like, why would you go north right now? Doug picked it because he found this amazing condo on the water. Like, I love being able to look out at water, and we could literally lay in bed and watch the sunrise and listen. We could crack the window open and listen to waves. And like, who doesn't want to start their day like that? Like, I'm like, Doug,
laying in bed, you mean?
What'd you say?
Laying in bed, you mean?
Yeah. In bed, listening to waves, like watching the sun come up. Sunday morning, we opened our curtains up and it was really cloudy and it had started snowing, but there was like a ship in the harbor. So there's like this 1,000-foot ship outside our window.
That's awesome. You know, I think northern Wisconsin is incredible. Sorry about the noise. And I never think about like going there to explore. So that's why I'm so intrigued that you chose Duluth.
If you have not been to Duluth, you need to put it on your list. Everything is on Lake Superior. It's so beautiful. We saw people running and walking and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, it was cold, but that does not hold people back there. They are out and about, which we love. We threw our mittens and our hats on and we walked, and we got up on Saturday morning and we went and got, or maybe it was Friday morning. I can't even remember. Isn't that terrible? We went and got donuts from this cute little old bakery, which they, of course, were amazing. And so, like, to your point, you're on vacation, you're doing different things. We knew we were going to be walking and hiking a lot. I'm like, that's it. We're starting our day with donuts. Or, yeah, we're going to, we shared a cookie. We didn't eat one each, right? Like, you got to have a little, you got to live a little.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So you would recommend it as like a getaway spot?
100%. Even, and a family spot. There's tons of places for camping, and there's lots of different types of hotels and resorts to stay. And so,
you know, Mary said, I love it when I can hear the waves of Lake Michigan from our house. We live 3 blocks from the lake and it's so soothing to hear. I completely agree. I just love hearing the sound of the waves.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I sent you a video. Do you have the video of the waterfalls?
I did not get a video.
Okay. We'll bring it another time.
Dang. But you did send me some more pictures that I want to talk about.
Let's do it.
So I see this and I recognize it's cribbage, but it looks like it's digital. What's going on here?
It is. Doug and I are big cribbage fans, and we played cribbage this weekend, but we forgot our board. We had a deck of cards. And so Doug found an app on his iPad where we could score the game, and you grab the pegs just like you would in a game and you drag them to your spot. It's really nice because it keeps score. So Doug and I have a rivalry now in there. So when we play, we can score under our games. Doug really despised that. If you can put that up for 1 second, he really despised the screen that pops. It says, it looks like Kristin has won the game. Confirm if this is correct to update the rivalry scoreboard. And so he had to click, yes, Kristin won.
That is awesome. And it looks like not only did you win, but Kristin 2, Doug 0.
Yeah, look at how close this game was, 121 to 119. That's really close.
That is a nail biter. So just so I understand, so you had your own deck of cards. You were playing, you know, tangibly with the deck of cards, but you were using the app to keep score, and you kind of like touch the screen and move the pegs along where they had to go.
Yep. Yeah, you basically peg on the electronic board just like you would in person.
Oh, that's so good to know, because oftentimes traveling, right, you have a deck of cards with you, but you might forget to pack the board.
Right. Yeah. And that's like, we almost always take a board with us, and somehow managed to forget this time, but it worked awesome. We actually played 3 games. I won all of them. I know Doug's going to listen back to this and he's like, you just had to say it. Yeah, I did have to say it. He told me on Saturday night, he's like, we are playing cribbage until I win. And then because we hiked 6.5 miles, we both fell asleep and we didn't play anymore. So we're going to pick that up this weekend because we have a long weekend. So,
well, I'm so glad that you had a successful cribbage weekend. I went over to my parents' house and played 3-handed with my mom and dad. Luckily, I won the first game, but it was kind of close. And then my mom skunked both me and my dad the second game. And I was just like, what is happening?
Yes. Here's a fun fact. The electronic board, you can play 3-handed or 6-handed on there.
Oh.
It has 3 lanes. So it's very versatile.
That's cool. And so then you can like create different profiles. So like Kristen, you have your scores with Doug. So like let's say you and I played virtually, then would it just keep a different
I
tabulation
don't
for
know.
those?
I
Or
wonder if you can play virtually. I don't know. How would you play virtually? I think you'd have to play on a different. I think you'd have to play on an actual cribbage app where the deck of cards is in there also. Do you know what I
oh
mean?
yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I didn't mean like remotely, but like if we were using that virtual cribbage board, would it tally our scores separately or would it just keep saying Kristen has
No,
this many wins?
I think both. I think we could create a new rivalry, and then it would still track.
Oh, that would be fun. Kristen, I want to play cribbage with you someday.
I know we're gonna do this. We have to do this with your mom and dad. Does Jason play?
Nope, not at all.
Not even interested. How about Teak?
T can play, usually begrudgingly. Like, and he's pretty good at it, but he doesn't love it.
Yeah,
I'm like, what's not to love? I don't get this.
it's. I think it's relaxing. Like we play just to play and have fun.
I do too. I think it's a great reason to socialize too, but yet you don't have to constantly be talking because you can be focused on the game.
Yeah. So do you play cut? Doug and I talked about this over the weekend. Do you play like cutthroat? Like if somebody misses counting points, you take their points away from them, or do you just like
No,
play nicely?
we play friendly.
Okay. So we have been playing friendly, but I threatened Doug that he said somebody was telling me that they have these family rules where if somebody doesn't if somebody misses counting a point that the person who notices gets the points, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's legit rules. And he was like, really? And I was like, do you want to start playing that way? And he was like, no, I
Yeah,
don't.
but I think like if you were going to play in a cribbage tournament or something, I think that's how it would go down.
Is it? Maybe we should, places like not Pet School, Sabbatical have cribbage tournaments a lot on the weekends. I think some Sunday afternoon we should play.
In a tournament?
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
Wow, I guess.
The worst thing that would happen is you lose,
Right.
which is still fun. Like you're still playing and hanging out.
Yeah. I'm just not sure about the cutthroat aspect, but I guess I could
I love it.
hone my wits.
I love it.
Hey, so this weekend is Easter. Do you guys have plans for the Easter holiday?
We'll do church Good Friday and Easter morning. We're gonna do. We kind of have a little bit of a family tradition to do Easter Eve dinner. So my brother and sister-in-law have other places they have to go on Easter. And a lot of times that happens with family. And so we're going to have dinner on Easter Eve and hang out together and visit, which I think will be really fun. And then our kids and Doug is taking vacation. We still have all off on Monday. So we're going to hang out as a fam on Monday, but pretty low key.
That's awesome. And otherwise, I was going to say too, having like Easter Eve dinner is awesome because it gets everyone together and you can casually hang out without having to worry about like getting back to work or something the next day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it allows us just to have a different pace. Originally we were going to do brunch. And so, then you're kind of rushing through Easter baskets and getting to church in the morning because you got to get home to like make food. And so now like our Sunday is going to have a totally different vibe. We'll still like have a meal together, but it's different than hosting.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I was looking back through old pictures. I was thinking about like scary Easter bunny photos and things like that. But I did find one of Teek's old pictures with an Easter bunny. And I was just like, who is this little guy? Like, it just feels so long ago. But man, I love that little kid.
His eyes are just so beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
He's so cute.
And look he was always so curious. Like he wasn't happy to just sit there. He's like, what are these big teeth? And he starts touching the rabbit. And then I knew it was time to go.
I love it. I love his little comb over, his little man like comb over too. He looks so cute.
I think he was 3.
Oh, I love it. I just love it.
So now that he's 18, I need a mom ruling here. Do I still need to prepare an Easter basket?
I think that the Easter Bunny brought goodies until I was out of college.
Wow. Okay.
How about for you?
I'm trying to remember. Maybe as long as I was in and around the house.
Yeah.
It's probably just good form. But moms, if you want to weigh in, I'm looking for advice.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I think my mom still does little things for Doug and I and my brother, like she can't help herself. I think it's so sweet.
I mean, that is a fun part of being a mom, though, isn't it? Like thinking about the delight that something you do will bring someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fun. It's just neat to like see the surprise and have the fun of it.
Yeah. Do you do like an Easter egg hunt or anything like that?
Well, we're gonna dye Easter eggs on Saturday night, which we haven't done in a couple of years, so I'm excited to kind of do that with the kids. And then we're kind of debating. We're debating. I have many, many, many plastic eggs, and so we'll see. I believe something will come together with them. What the version of that is, I kind of want to have some that are like they pick a gift, but it's like a white elephant crap gift, and then that will be funny. And then some that are like good. So I don't. I'm trying to decide. How about you?
I used to do like an Easter egg hunt, right? Like I'd hide all of the eggs, but in some of the eggs, some of them are like a shiny, kind of like a neon color that were different than the other eggs. And so what I would do in those is I would put a note. Um, by the way, Lori said, my mom is the same. She can't help herself. I love it though. It makes her happy.
Oh, see, it's good.
But so I'd create a little poem, right? And it would say, like, I don't know, I would make something up, but it would give you a clue. And then he'd have to figure out where that clue was leading him. And he'd go there, he'd find another egg, and he would have like the second stage of the clue. And I think there were maybe 8 of them. And by the end, it would give him the final clue of where the basket was hidden.
Oh, that's fun. I love that. We did talk about doing something like that, but I don't feel like I have the mental power this week to pull that off, to like think of all the stages. And there's 5. So we have our 3 kids and my niece and nephew. So like there's 5 of them. So whatever I do, it's times 5. Even if it's eggs
Oh.
or whatever, it's like for each of the kids. So I just,
So one year we did that when my nephews were home. And in order to make it fair, right? Because some of the older guys, we didn't want them to find all of the eggs and the littlest guys would get nothing. We color coordinated. So we got like plastic pails, a pink one, a yellow one, a blue one, right? And then we got eggs that matched. So if you had the yellow bucket, you could only pick up yellow eggs, even if you saw a pink one, even if you saw a blue one. Nope, you had to let it lie because it didn't match your bucket.
I love it. I love it. That's fun. Well, we'll see. Something like I just know it's going to ruminate. It'll come.
It's only Wednesday. You've got days. Mary said, I did an Easter basket for my hubby once, and I found it about a year later with the candy still there. I think he forgot about it.
Great. That is great. I think it's so fun watching the kids try to find hidden Easter baskets and just seeing where they naturally go and, kind of, I'm not going to say I enjoyed the struggle. That sounds horrible, but like it's kind of fun to see where's the basket going to be and how are they going to find it.
Or even the eggs. Sometimes it's like right in plain sight. Like he'll walk past it like 10 times thinking it's got to be more difficult to find.
Right. No, I'm sure I didn't look. Shame on me. But I'm pretty sure the rec department almost always does an Easter egg hunt locally. A lot. I think it's at Lincoln Park.
I'm pretty sure I saw a post about it, but my child is beyond that, so I did not read the details. But I did see that there was a post about an egg hunt.
So you're gonna have to look around. I know the the Easter Bunny has been at Festival Foods, or likely maybe at Festival Foods this weekend yet. I think last weekend was one of the dates. But if you're looking for something, there's always fun stuff.
Fun. Well, what else is going on? What else is up this week?
Oh man, what is up this week? I mean, like I said, I'm working on this incredible project for Lighthouse Recovery. We haven't really talked about this. But I'm the president of the board for Lighthouse Recovery, and we purchased a new building downtown on State Street that we are, like, I would say 3/4 of the way through renovations. Anna, thank you. Easter extravaganza on Saturday, the 19th. Oh, that was
I think that one is extra. I think it's
okay.
Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Thank you. Okay. Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Lincoln Park. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, 10 a.m. There we go. She came.
Oh,
We have the best viewers.
Don't we?
They're like our little mini producers. Thank you.
You guys are amazing.
10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Lincoln Park on Saturday. And so we're like 3/4 away through this renovation. And like yesterday, all the kitchen cabinets got delivered. And so like a lot of the painting is done, not all the painting, but a lot of the painting is done. And some of the flooring is in, and just like there is a lot of excitement for me about finally seeing these pieces coming together. And like some of this started ruminating in my brain in like September of last year. And so now finally it's happening and it's crazy. So
It's cool because it's a master course in patience too, right? Like thinking about something, making a decision, finally seeing it come to fruition, right? Like it's okay to accept those sort of timelines.
right. Right. And there's stuff like Doug and I stayed in this amazing condo this weekend, and there was this beautiful kind of bluish green color on all the walls. It was very dark and warm. And in the bathroom, they had black rimmed mirror and black fixtures with a white sink. And I was sitting there and I said to Doug on Saturday, I think I'm going to have to change all the faucets out at State Street to black. They were going to be gold. And he's like, what? And I was like, I'm just looking around here and I think it's just going to be a better fit. I got to change it out. So like being in Duluth at this place kind of inspired this change this week, which we are going to be able to do. And I'm like, it's just kind of neat how things come in where you're like, oh, wait, this is a different view. I think I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, I could see black being a good choice.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. So
what's the timeline for that project? When's it expected?
We are shooting for an opening date for the new center on April 22nd.
Oh, that's so soon.
That's the plan. So that's coming up. That's like 4 weeks away. So yeah, we're coming down, and you guys can mark your calendars. More will come out very soon, but May 16th, which is a Thursday, is going to be our ribbon cutting and open house. And we would love to have everybody come and join us, not just to see the new space, but just to kind of see and hear, where Lighthouse is going in our community.
Yeah. Hey, Kristin, last week we had a guest, and it was so awesome chatting with Dorothy, but you had sent me a picture, so we didn't have a time to talk about it. Can you tell me about this delicious thing? I've licked my screen a couple of times already. I'm thinking this was for St. Patrick's Day.
It was for St. Patrick's Day. I did corned beef slow roasted I started it last Saturday night. So not this past Saturday, obviously Saturday before. Started at like 6 p.m. on Saturday night with some water in, and the seasoning that's on there is just the regular seasoning packet, nothing fancy. And I let it slow roast until about 6:30, 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. So 12 hours at 250, so super low. And we pulled it and just let it rest on top of the stove until we got home from church. So it really like cooled with all those wonderful juices in, and then we sliced it for St. Patty's Day dinner.
Was it good?
It was amazing. Have you ever eaten colcannon?
No, what's colcannon?
So colcannon is sauteed green onions and cabbage, and then you make mashed potatoes separate and you fold the cabbage and onions into the mashed potatoes, and then they get baked with butter on the top.
What? Kind of like a potato-y pancake thing?
Nope. It's like mashed potatoes with cabbage in.
Okay.
So this is a traditional Irish side dish. I had no idea. We'd never had it before. And so we were trying to round out the meal. And so my mom made that, and it was amazing. Like, I don't know that we will eat regular mashed potatoes again, because that little bit of, so you might be thinking, ew, really, cabbage, Kristin? But like, it made the mashed potatoes light. Like there was just amazing flavor in the mashed potatoes that we are like, we could definitely eat this. Like,
okay, so colcannon, how do you spell that?
colcannon.
Oh, exactly like it sounds. Okay.
If you Google it, you'll find recipes. It's not like nothing super fancy, but it was delicious. We had roasted beets and carrots with it. Grace made an Irish apple cake on the side, which was wonderful. So
what's an Irish apple cake?
It is like a dense spice cake on the bottom, kind of almost like pound cake. Then you layer apples on it, and then there's a crumb topping. And it bakes all together. You layer it in a pan. And again, very traditional. I would say kind of like a floury cake. Wonderful.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
I tried to pull some traditional things, because even like corned beef and cabbage is very American. So I tried to like pull some traditional Irish dishes out for this year. So
it's interesting. At college, Teak has made friends with the Japanese exchange student. And so one of his questions was, what is St. Patrick's Day? And he was trying to explain. And he said it was so hard for him to just kind of grasp the concept
Yeah.
of what it meant and what we do. And
Yeah. I don't know that I have a good answer. All I know is I am Irish and I love eating food, especially really good food and especially Irish food. And so like, why not?
yeah,
Right? Why
yeah.
not?
Oh,
But
I love that you explored. I definitely want to try an Irish
do
apple
you do
cake. That sounds
anything for
delish.
St. Patrick's Day this year?
We did. My mom, dad, Teek, and I, we all went out. We went to Shooter Malone's,
Yeah.
got some lunch there.
There you go. Well done. Well done. Hey, we thought of you the other night. So Doug and I have been watching this series and now the girls are in on it. We've been watching Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix. So Phil is the brother to the gentleman that wrote for Somebody Loves Raymond. Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay.
And so it's called Somebody Feed Phil, and he goes all around the world and eats traditional dishes and new things, but travels everywhere. And the other night, the episode we watched, it's a brand new season, he was in Kyoto, Japan. And we are looking, cherry blossoms are in it. And he just talked about how tranquil of a community Kyoto is. And Doug was like, do you want to go there? And I'm like, we are going there with Jason and Tina sometime.
Let's do it. You will love it. It's incredible.
Is it? Have you been to Kyoto?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Amazing.
It used to be the capital, and so now it's like the historic capital, the cultural capital. It has so many beautiful like temples, shrines, castles. There's just so many. There's like this huge bamboo forest. Did you ever see pictures of Japan where there's like those orange gates and there's like 1,000 of them all stacked together? That's there.
Yeah, it just showed so many incredible, like you said, just the temples and the history there. Like they were talking about some of these temples, and one of the restaurants they were at was like 2,000 years old, right? And it's like nothing in the United States. I mean, the land, but like there's nothing here that is that old where civilization was, obviously Native Americans were living here, but like it's just mind boggling to think about these structures that have existed for that long, and all the local fare, like the food, everything they
Ooh,
eat.
I was just gonna say.
Ooh, I want to eat that. Ooh, I want to eat that. Ooh, I'd love to try that.
Okay, I cannot wait to go. That's gonna be so fun, Kristin.
Like,
Well, okay. Let's say it
we
again.
need like 3 years. Our youngest needs to grow up a little bit more to handle that kind of international travel.
Right, and that it'll be the most meaningful and memorable then too.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I love it. All right, you guys, thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We appreciated spending this Wednesday morning with you. Kristin, as always, I really enjoyed chatting with you.
I love chatting with you too.
And thanks to our great viewers.
I know. Have a great Wednesday. Thank you all for chatting. We'll see you next week.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Yeah.
This is Kristin Odell of KLO. I'm Tina Prigge, Vagabond Creative Studio. We'll see you on the next episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina.